Kia ora, welcome to Central News for Thursday the 19th of June. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. It could take Coromandel Peninsula landowners several years to fully recover from last week's storm, with the initial clean-up by Waikato Regional Council staff and contractors expected to last about 2 months. Last week's storm affected a number of areas across the Hauraki Coromandel district, with one of the worst hit being the stretch of coast lying just north of Colville between Waiaroa and Port Jackson. The Regional Council assessment last weekend showed that streams are out of their channels and paddocks are completely covered in sediment and debris, including huge boulders. While the initial clean-up is expected to take about 2 months, the Regional Council anticipates it will be working with landowners over the next few years on recovery, including stabilising land and minimising the impact of sediment on waterways. University of Waikato PhD candidate Rasika Subasinghe has been awarded a Zespri Innovation Fellowship for her research into the host cell wall degrading strategies of the PSA bacteria in kiwi fruit. Each year, as part of their efforts to encourage continued research into the kiwi fruit industry, the Zespri Innovation Fellowship Group identify key topics in areas where there is a specific need for research. This year's topics include PSA, fruit quality, supply chain, orchard productivity and health and nutrition. Good progress is being made on shaping a more prosperous and efficient future for Waikato, with business groups and others now invited to apply to be on a joint committee overseeing a new regional spatial plan being developed by the Waikato Mayor Forum. The forum, made up of Waikato mayors and the chair of the Regional Council, received a series of progress reports on forum work streams and discussed with the Waikato branch of the Property Council its ideas for local government reorganisation. Whilst the two organisations have differing ideas on the boundaries, work continues on a range of developments and initiatives. Organisations wanting to apply for a seat on the Spatial Plan Joint Committee should contact Waikato District Council Chief Executive Gavin Ion by the 18th of July. The Rangataiki River Forum is drafting a document that will set the direction on how to improve the health of the Rangataiki River over the next 50 to 100 years. The forum wants those with an interest in the river and its catchment to have their say in what the future looks like. And Rangataiki River Forum Chair Bronco Carson says that this will be an important document that will guide future generations on how to manage this resource. Mr Carson says the Rangataiki has a lot of significance for different communities for a wide range of reasons, from traditional food gathering to farming and recreation. There's an open day tomorrow at Edgecombe from 10 till 2 at the Riverslea Shopping Mall, 14 College Road, or for more information visit rangataiki.org.nz. Let's take a look at the marine forecast now, with Raglan expecting a sou'west of 30 knots with a rough sea should ease late Friday to become 20 knots. The sou'west swell will become heavy for a time on Friday and high tide is at 3:37 tomorrow morning. Bay of Plenty expect a sou'west of 30 knots with rough seas, easing early Friday to 20 knots, high tide 20 to 1 tomorrow morning. Still to come on Central News, we find out about living local in Tauranga, speak with a local musician, and up next, we head back to the field days. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. Dairy NZ work for the farmer on research, biosecurity, focus farms and advocacy and policy. I spoke with CEO Tim Mackle at the field days last week and asked where he believes we're sitting on the agricultural scale in New Zealand.
Tim, the agricultural industry is often used as a barometer for the New Zealand economy. Where do you see us sitting on that scale at the moment?
Well, this year, Emery, has been a hugely positive year, and I just heard the Minister for Primary Industries say this morning that we're heading towards $36 billion in terms of export returns from primary industry. So it's fantastic. Dairy is going to be very big there. I mean, it's almost getting towards $18 billion this year, which is a record, and and export receipts, merchandise. So that's really good. So it's been very healthy, and we know that in terms of the GFC that we went through, that agriculture and primary industries have played a big part in New Zealand doing so well comparatively with other countries. So that's been a good story. Going forward, the outlook's still very positive. We know dairy is going to soften a little bit this year, as it always does go through cycles, but then the outlook beyond that is very positive again.
We often hear agriculture being called, or the dairying industry being called the backbone of New Zealand. Would you also call it the engine that perhaps drives the Waikato?
Well, it's certainly very big here, in terms of the number of farmers. We have 35% of New Zealand's dairy farmers live in this region, let alone the surrounding regions of the Bay of Plenty and places like that. You've got 28% of the milk that's produced in this region, so it's a big part of our national dairy industry. So yeah, very important to us here, and we think it'll play a key role going forward. We've got some key challenges here in the Waikato, particularly the river. We've got to work through how we make sure we do the right thing there with all of the community, but it's a very important part.
Let's talk some more about the challenges that are currently facing New Zealand farmers. Water's obviously a big one.
It is a big one. I mean, look, the ongoing need to etch out good profits and be competitive is always going to be there. As a farmer said to me, you've got to be in the black to be green, and so we have to keep going for that. We've got competitors overseas we're up against as well. But at the same time, these new drivers around footprint, environmental footprint, particularly nutrients and so on, even greenhouse gases. It hasn't gone away. It's still there, and we have to deal with it. They'll always go there, and really the understanding from farmers, I think, of those issues has increased hugely compared to, say, 5 years ago.
What are some of the water management alternatives that we could be investigating?
Well, really, with water, there's two issues. There's water quality, and then there's the supply of water as well. And both are issues to varying extents across the country. It really depends on where you're farming. And Canterbury irrigation has got a great amount of potential there. Not so much in the Waikato potentially, but in all regions, and different catchments within regions, we have to deal with nutrient and so on. And so there's a lot of planning going on across the country with regional councils. We are actively involved in that as an industry. And so far it's been a very constructive process, but it's about getting the right policy framework so that we can enjoy more benefits from dairy, social, economic, at the same time deal with our environmental issues in a very proactive way.
And just quickly, tell me about your new website for Dairy NZ.
Oh, look, there's a huge amount of information on there. Farmers have always said, great website, but it's becoming hard to find stuff. So the focus was all around producing a really easy-to-use website that farmers can access what they need. It's one of the biggest websites in the world of its kind in terms of agricultural information for farmers, and so we're pretty proud of it.
For more information on Dairy NZ, check out the new revamped website, dairynz.co.nz. Field Days rolled into town last week for another 4 days of innovations and agribusiness. I spent the day there and caught up with Mark Dewdney, CEO of PGG Wrightson.
PGG Wrightson has always had a presence at the Field Days. What made you take the step into becoming strategic partner this year?
We have about a dozen businesses as part of the PGG Wrightson family. In the past we've had 5 or 6 little sites around the company. We're talking a lot in our business about collaboration, and for us collaboration starts at home, and so what we wanted to do was create one stand, one presence where all of our businesses could be seen together and all the things we do on farms could be seen working together under one umbrella essentially.
How does this year's theme, managing resources for a competitive advantage, relate to PGG Wrightson?
PGG Wrightson are probably the largest supplier of farm inputs in New Zealand. We service dairy farmers, sheep farmers, beef farmers, viticulturalists, horticulturalists, crop growers, mums and dads. So for us it's about putting all of our products and services together, giving them to farmers in the most efficient way that they can, giving them the best technical expertise from our 2,000 staff. If we do a good job on our farmers' farms, then they'll be more productive and more profitable.
Now, you've been coming to the Field Days since a young boy, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a Morrisville boy, born and bred, and I've been coming here for probably 30 odd years. Yeah, it's a lot better now that the pavements are done, but yeah, I love it. It's a great time to get out, see a whole lot of people that you haven't seen for a while, and just hear what's going on in the market.
Do you have a favourite exhibit? Is there one thing you can't miss?
That's a great question. I would think the best exhibit's PGG Wrightson's.
Not biased at all.
I'm totally biased, but you got to be. No, but there's great. Oh, it's great. There's some great innovation around, some neat little companies doing really exciting things, and it's good to see all the big boys out there as well, showing their wares. LIC is always a great stand to go to. Gallagher's, True Test, there's a lot of good ones, but I think ours is pretty special this year.
What are some of the biggest challenges facing the dairy industry and farming industry in general at the moment?
Yeah, look, I think challenges, environmental, getting the public on side, food security. In all businesses there are challenges. I think the more exciting thing though is what are the opportunities. And the world is growing very quickly. There'll be 3 billion more people in the world in 2050. They all want to eat. They want to eat more. They want to eat healthier. And agriculture and food from New Zealand is absolutely the best industry to be in.
Mark Dewdney, thanks for your time.
Absolutely my pleasure. Have a great day.
For more details, go to pggwrightson.co.nz. Still to come, Amanda chats with a local musician and Wayne finds out about an event celebrating Tauranga as a great place to live. That's next on Central News. Kia ora, good evening, welcome back to Central News. Cambridge local Matt Hicks spoke with Amanda recently to give an insider's point of view on the current state of musical talent in the Waikato, as well as some of the more interesting people he gets to meet.
Matt, welcome back to Central News. It's great to have you here. Now tell me, what have you been up to since you were last here?
Oh, thank you very much, Amanda, for letting me have a chitter-chatter and matter-matter. What have I been up to since I was last here? I was last here a couple of years ago now, I suppose, was it? Yeah. 2011, something like that. Anyway, a lot's happened since then, a lot of exciting things. I'm still doing my website, soundsgood.co.nz, check it out. So yeah, basically I interview musicians and local kind of media personalities, interesting people. So interviewed a lot of cool people in the last couple of years, Kim.com the other day, and also some more kind of undergroundy kind of interesting people.
How was he? How was Kim.com? What is he like as a person? Is he intimidating? Because he's a big hulking man, isn't he?
I'm pretty tough myself, so yeah. Not too worrying. He was cool, very, very interesting guy. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. What, did he? So he wasn't intimidating at all, because with someone with that amount of wealth behind him can often kind of come into a room and feel that everyone is beneath him.
No.
Is he like that? No.
Yeah, people are just people,
Yeah.
He wasn't too bad.
What did you guys talk about?
Oh, just his internet party, pre-Lila Hare. She wasn't the leader at that time. Yeah. Just kind of like his policies, he's all about, free education and kind of, internet freedom and yeah.
And he was happy to come and talk to you? It wasn't too hard getting an interview with him?
No. He's a shameless self-promoter, as you know. So, no, it was pretty easy.
Excellent. So, born and bred in Cambridge, beautiful, beautiful little town that
Lovely
it is.
town.
Lovely. So, what is going on in Cambridge at the moment?
Apart from the general kind of tomfoolery that's always going on there, we had the High Level Bridge closure for a couple of months, which was very, very controversial. Many souls were late to work. So that upset a few people. It's all open now, just in time for the field days. So that's good. What else has been going on in Cambridge? That's about
What do you do for a young person in Cambridge? Because I know there's quite a high population of senior citizens. It's a bit of a retirement retreat, so to speak. So what do you do for someone young as yourself?
Go to Hamilton.
Go to Hamilton.
Yeah. No, there's heaps of stuff. Hey, there's Lake Karapiro and. It's just like any kind of small town, just like Matamata here or whatever. You just kind of make your own fun.
Yeah, so you talking about your website where you interview local stars. I know you've also organised a few festival kind of things here and there. Are you still getting in on that?
Yeah. So in the last couple of years I've been doing my website, been doing a bit of writing for Nexus magazine as well, and me and this other chap by the name of Diaz Grimm, a local rapper around the place. We, at the end of 2012, put on the first Escape Music Festival. So basically it's a kind of a Friends of Friends, kind of 6 Degrees of Separation kind of music festival where we get a lot of Waikato artists, you know, some of the prominent ones like Scotty Stone, who you just spoke to before, CTFD, Razor Beezer. Those 2 artists have just received New Zealand On Air funding, so it's really cool to like see these dudes that were like playing in this paddock to all your mates go and get on a kind of national stage. So yeah, we've done 2 of those now, so that's been really, really cool. And yeah, we're hopefully going to be doing another one around Waitangi Day next year, hopefully a 2-dayer.
Around Waitangi Day, is it? Yep. So you are in with the music scene, even though you're not a musician yourself, but that's okay. So it was New Zealand Music Month last month, but it kind of seemed like it just sort of came and went and nothing was really done about it. Do you think it's still relevant?
That question's been asked by a lot of pundits lately. It's not as popular as it was when it first came out, you know, in the year 2000 when, you know, She Hard did that big concert down in Wellington and there was like 20,000 people there or whatever. A lot of people are calling for it to be axed, and I don't think that's appropriate. Like, it's got to the stage now where the novelty's worn off and it's a bit naff, but it's like a good, like necessary kind of naff. Like, it can't be bad to have it, so we should just keep it going. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no.
Well, what could be improved then? Like, we can't just keep something going if it's obviously not really even impacting on musicians.
I guess.
More promotion, perhaps?
Yeah, more promotion, but yeah, I guess a lot of it is with the musicians themselves. You know, like if they want people to like go out there and like get involved, like, you know, like people that are just kind of like on the kind of sides, you know, that like, do you usually go to New Zealand music shows at all?
I don't know.
No.
Well, I don't hear about them,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
unless I actively seek it out.
Yeah. So you need to get those people that aren't going to during the month, like, you know, like go out to shows, like get involved. And I think that kind of lies with the musician a bit and like venue promoters. Like venue promoters need to be hard on these musicians to make sure they like get on time and do a professional show and not just kind of, you know, think they're rock stars kind of thing. Musicians need to do that as well, like, you know, just like lift the professionalism, and then hopefully that'll draw in more punters. Maybe, like I was thinking the other day, there needs to be more awareness around it. Maybe like if the government did some sort of like national kind of mainstream kind of ad campaign on like your big channels, like, you know how we had a couple of years ago the Buy New Zealand Made ad campaign with Oliver Driver all like as a robot and stuff.
Oh yes,
Do you remember
that's right. They're
Yeah, if
fantastic.
they did maybe like something like that, that would be quite cool.
But to
like,
get out there and support local acts.
yeah, like, hey, it's New Zealand Music Month. Like, imagine if you saw it like during Shorty or something like that. You know, get out there, go see Scotty Stone or Vegas Brown or Tiki Tane or something like that during New Zealand Music Month, or maybe even just buy their songs. You know, that could be a good thing, you know. But then again, like, how do you justify that kind of, you know, advertising spend to you know, like, to like, you know, get somebody to buy a $2 iTunes download from Tiki Tane.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right there, Matt. Well, thank you very much for your insight on the music around Waikato region. And yeah, we shall see you next time, no doubt.
You can see more of Matt's work at soundsgood.co.nz. Up next on Central News, we discover how to find out all the best bits about Tauranga. Kia ora, welcome back to Central News. If you live in Tauranga and have always wanted to know the best place to eat, or just need to know that somewhere comes recommended well, now there is a website for you. Love Local Tauranga is being launched tomorrow evening, and Wayne found out about the site.
It's a lot of excitement. We've got a Love Local Tauranga party happening, and anyone who's been on the Localist website and loved anything in Tauranga up until tomorrow gets to come to this party. And the great thing is this party is being hosted with us by the MasterChef girls, the MasterChef winners, and they've designed the food, but they've designed local food and they've matched it to local food, beer and wine, and we've got lots of local insiders coming, and I'm basically saying it's a party for Tauranga's biggest fans.
Well, you've mentioned the lovely MasterChef sisters. Why did they actually get on board, do you think?
Well, we were absolutely wrapped, Wayne, because we know they've been all over the women's magazines. Everybody's chasing them there. The hot tomato at the moment, but what was really beautiful, the moment they decided to come to this Love Local Tauranga party was the moment that our editor told them that the whole ethos around Localist is loving local, and they said, loving local, we love Makatu, we love Tauranga, we're there, we want to support our community because that's really what we're all about. That's why we love them, isn't it? They're genuine.
Okay, looking at the whole concept of the website, what essentially is the Localist site?
Localist is the most exciting site that's been built, which is a site where people can go on and tell each other what they love. So where's the great flat white? Who's the great mechanic in town? You know, kind of like that friend, the one in your social group that knows everything. We should go there, you should go and shop there. Well, that's what Localist is. It's about going onto a website, sharing what you love about your community so that others can see who's the most popular. It's popular opinion. I call it word of mouth online.
And more specifically, Christina, how does the site work? And, for example, can anyone upload onto it?
Yeah, so you can either use it just to discover. If you were visiting somewhere else, or if you just wanted to discover Tauranga, you can just use it to discover. But you can also you can be a contributor. It's not about just journalists or food critics. Anyone can have a voice, which is really exciting, and you can do that by going on to localist.co.nz or our special landing page for this competition, which is Love Local Tauranga. But you can also download an app. Really neat app. It travels around with you, and you're just in the cafe. You can take a photo on your phone, say why you love that cafe, give the cafe owner, if they're doing a great job, give them a pat on the back. You know, it's exciting, it's fun. Everyone loves loving.
Fair bit of emphasis on the subject of love in this whole concept, and why?
Well, we decided a lot of people do like on Facebook, but we decided it's about love. You know, Love Local is the biggest movement in the world right now. We're all getting back to loving our communities. So we just like lukewarm. We're going to make it love. You love your community. You know, you love when you walk into a dress shop and you absolutely love the person that's serving you. You know, it's that feeling. It's that feeling of thinking, I really want to share this. It's a bigger feeling. It's better.
If you'd like to find out more information, visit lovelocaltauranga.co.nz. Time to take a look at the weather now. Firstly, for the Waikato, Hamilton, expect a few showers with fresh southwesterlies and a high of 14 degrees. Your low, 5. Paroa, 15 expected with a low of 5 overnight. Matamata, 14. Te Awamutu, expect 14 also. And Tokerua, your Friday is looking a bit chilly, just 11 degrees your high with 3 overnight. Heading to the Bay of Plenty now, with Tauranga expecting a mainly fine Friday. Fresh southwesters keeping things cool though, a high of just 15 degrees with a low of 7 overnight. And Te Puke, much the same for you with a high of 13 degrees. That's Central News for today. Make sure you like us on Facebook and let us know if there's news or an event in your community. Thanks for joining me. I'm Anne-Marie Case-Miller. Ka kite anō.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.